Hello everyone, welcome to another video today, and today I would like to talk about what is my eye condition and how it affects me up until for the first almost 20 years of my life. So I have this eye condition called retinopathy of prematurity, or for short ROP. And I also actually have a twin brother who also has a ROP, and he's also legally blind. When I was born in the hospital, I was born early. I was born in May, and I was supposed to be born in September, so that was like 5 months early. And what happened was, this is pretty common with when you develop this condition. So what happens is, before I was diagnosed, I had this brain bleed. It's not really considered a stroke in my case, but we just call it a brain bleed, I guess. And my lungs weren't fully developed yet, and I was gasping for air. And they put me on a ventilator, I believe, or oxygen machine. And they had to do this laser eye surgery because my retina is detached in both of my eyes, which is pretty straight across the board for ROP. Once they put my retinas back in place, they were able to save my right eye. No, not my right eye. I lost my vision in my right eye. So, I used to have very little light perception, but it's not there anymore. It slowly faded away over time. I don't know how it happened, it just did. But luckily in my left eye, they were able to save this eye and get its sight to keep it after they reattached my retinas. And my parents knew, they told me this recently, that they knew that something was wrong with my right eye, but the doctors told them don't worry about it, and they were fine with it once they heard. And up to this day, like, we've left this eye alone. We left it being with no sight, which I'm fine with because I've learned to adapt and accept my blindness. So yeah, over time, for about the first 16 years of my life, in 2013, during the summer, I think I was 11 at the time, and that was the worst summer ever. And the reason why I say that is because I was going to so many eye doctor's appointments because my vision was acting up really bad. So first, I was poking my eyes, which that was very bad for me to do. Now, I don't do it anymore, but I used to. And I saw another eye doctor from my normal eye doctor who sent me to. And he told me that, like, I can't poke my eyes anymore. And I had to wear this eye patch on my eye at night for sleeping because I would constantly touch my eyes. And it's pretty bad to do that in general. It did help, but over time as I got older, like, I stopped doing that. Which, thank God I stopped doing that, because it would kind of hurt doing it, I remember. But yeah. Then, over the course of that summer, I went to a corneal specialist, and they told me that there was this calcium. It's like I guess let's call it a cloud, just to be easy. So it was basically like this cloud that was blocking my central vision. And when the doctor saw it, when he examined me, he said that we need to do this procedure called a corneal scraping. So what they do is that you're asleep for it in the OR, and it's like cleaning off something. They cleaned off, like, the cornea where the calcium was sitting. That's why they call it a corneal scraping, because they use this tool to scrape it off, and these special eye drops that clear it off too. They worked, by the way. When I woke up, yes, I had some pain, but it went away after a little bit during the day when I rested. And then over time, the rest of that summer, my vision was a lot better. I would say about a couple days later, after the surgery, for some reason, my vision was a lot worse than what it should have been, and I had no idea why. I knew that this calcium was scraped off 2 days before, and my eye was red, according to my parents when they saw. And then what they did was we went back to the eye doctor, and he wasn't there, but one of his partners was. So they use a special lens for healing purposes. It's this medical contact lens that they put in your eye after this procedure. And for some reason they were saying that, I had inflammation from that lens, I guess. So what they did was they immediately took it off. And yeah, that solved the case. I was on medications from the surgery too. That was helping. So then about 4 years later, in early 2017, March, the first day specifically, and we had to do, throughout those 4 years before this time occurred, the eye doctors have been constantly telling us that Christian needs to get his lens out, and this is where the story begins and how I figured out like what that actually meant. So, it was because they knew something was going to happen. So what happened was, in late February of 2017, I woke up this one morning, and then for some reason my eyesight was blurry again, just about the same as when they had to take out that contact lens from inflammation. This time it was not inflammation, it was something different. So what it was a narrow angle pressure attack, and part of it was this other eye disease that I have, which is called glaucoma, which causes blindness, and I still had that at the time. I think I still have it, but it's just mild, I believe. I don't know. I gotta ask my eye doctor. But yeah. So I had this narrow angle pressure attack, which causes basically, it was because I guess the lens, my thicker lens, was not. I didn't have enough space for fluid drainage. That's the best way I could describe it on how it basically is from what I remember. And then, so what they had to do is they had to do this laser procedure. It is done in the clinic. And it's to put he had to laser this microscopic sized hole on my iris, which helps the fluid drain. Because if fluid drained in more, it would cause me to go blind, and that's dangerous. So luckily the hole, it did work, and it needs to be open. It can't close up. If it was closing up, he would have to do the laser procedure again to open it back up more. It is very small. It's like 2.5 millimeters. It was still happening. Like, it went away for a little bit, but then it came back and it got worse. So for some reason I felt sick. I had a headache, and I felt like puking, and it was all because of the narrow angle pressure attack. I know that sounds crazy to think that something with my vision would affect my whole body, isn't it? It's so crazy, isn't it? But I felt this weird pressure feeling, I guess the lens or something in the back of my left eye was pushing, and that was bad. And so what they did was they did the laser procedure again. One of my eye doctor's partners. That worked because the hole was closing up, because my pressure was skyrocketing, and also I wasn't breathing normal because that keeps the eye pressure stable. So yeah, my eye doctor's specialist told him that they need to do the lens procedure, the lens implant surgery, or it's a cataract surgery. So we all considered that. I knew it was definitely going to suck going to surgery, but if it's to keep me from going blind, I'll do it. So what they do in the surgery, you're asleep in the OR, and what my eye doctor did was he took the lens out, the thicker one. So they take the cloudy lens out that is bad, and they replace it with a clear lens implant. So it's kind of like glasses, where you change a prescription, thicker lens to thinner lens, which I never knew that my lenses were thick until I got the thinner lens, and I couldn't see out of my glasses at all. I could literally see the thickness of them. It was cool for me to see and fascinating, but I never knew that for the first 15 15 years of my life. Like, I never knew that because the surgery, we weren't even considering that or thinking about it in the past. So then, after the surgery, my vision has been stable ever since. Ever since that day, my eye doctor and those amazing medical professionals that did the surgery on me, they have helped me. They have kept me from going blind and kept my vision stable to where it is today. I always used to be nearsighted, but because of that lens procedure, it made me more farsighted to a certain distance. Not all the way like a sighted person, but enough to where I can see a little farther away. And it depends on how far something is that's in front of me. I am still nearsighted to when it comes to certain things, but it's like half and half, I'll say that. But and it's been about 4 years later and nothing has changed with my left eye, which is this eye. Here, I'll show you the difference between my right and left eye. So here is my left eye, the vision, the eye that we've been taking care of to make sure I don't go blind, because as I've said before in previous videos, this is my right eye. For those of you that are blind, it is smaller from not developing well as a baby, and losing vision due to born early. So yeah, that is, and also that's one of the major things that affects me on with ROPs, because also my medical history of vision. And then another thing that affects me is sometimes I get fatigue from looking at something for a long time. It gives me a headache. It kind of hurts. I mean, this happens to everyone, but to me, I think it happens to me a little bit more in an annoying way. Plus, I also have the nystagmus, and that also it's also frustrating because nystagmus is uncontrollable shakiness. I made a video about that too. I'll link that in the description. I'll also link the video about the 2 times I almost went blind, in more in-depth detail will go into there. I think I said most of it here, but you guys can go watch those 2 videos. So yeah, like it also depends. That would happen basically, the fatigue would happen if, let's say, here I'll show you. Let's say this is my TV remote, and the print, I can see it, but I have to look up like this close to see it. If I was like right here, I can't see I know there's print on it. I can see the contrast a little bit, but I can't really see what numbers they are. It's kind of hard to make out. Plus, it also depends on the shapes too. So yeah, that's pretty much like how my eye condition or disease has, up to this point, how it affects me in pretty major ways. But I deal with, I'm pretty calm when that happens. I don't freak out or panic or anything. I'm pretty calm when that happens, because to me, like, this is my life, being visually impaired. This is my normal. I don't have full sight. Yes, I have sight to see detail around me, not enough to see far away to a certain extent. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do like what you see, comment, like, and subscribe. I hope you guys found this interesting and learned something new about someone with a visual impairment. And have a great day, everyone. Bye.